this thing a little different today. Yeah, Usher knew what was up when he made this song, but I digress. So listen, today we're talking all about trading places in the context of gender bias in the workplace and of course at home. So yes, roles are continuously changing from how it was back in the day to now. So we're going to talk about that today. You don't want to miss this conversation, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so let's get to this business news rundown. It is a lot going on in the business world, like always, but I chose my 3 top news reports for the day. Walmart says consumer spending has dropped now that stimulus checks are running out. Y'all got y'all stimulus checks. Second quarter for the retail giant was huge. Now, Walmart, like other retail stores, are waiting to see what the government will do for the next round of checks. Who else waiting for that check? Are y'all waiting for the second check? Third check? Are we even getting a second check? Well, if we do, spend it wisely. Stay out of Walmart. All right, now, who likes Apple? Everybody likes Apple. Well, I'm sorry, it's like maybe that 2% of the Android users, but that's none of my business. Anyway, Apple becomes the first US company to reach a $2 trillion market cap. $2 trillion? Which has doubled in valuation in just over 2 years. Anyone know of Apple hiring? I mean, I ain't looking for no job. Do not tell my employer right now. So this coronavirus situation is very serious. We are now trying to be adapted to the new normal. But let me tell you, the news say that it may be years until students can go back into the school with no mask and social distancing. But let me tell you, as a college professor, my mask is on, my glasses are on. When I'm talking 20 minutes into the lecture, my glasses are foggy. I'm over it. But I'm gonna wear my mask and stay safe. But where's the vaccine at? All right, let's go ahead and get into the next item on our agenda. I have a couple of friends here with me today. They are the perfect example of debaters. They will go toe-to-toe all day about different topics. So I'm interested to see what they're gonna talk about today with this trading places. We're gonna get a male point of view and a woman's point of view on gender biases in the workplace and at home. So come on, let's go on and head over. All right, so again, we're about to talk about trading places. I have the perfect duo to talk to us about their roles and how they view different gender roles and biases in the workplace and at home. So let me introduce you to my friends, Jarita Crump and Marcus Johnson.
Hi, my name is Jarita Crump. I am a real estate agent here in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I am Marcus Johnson. I'm the head men's basketball coach at St. Augustine's University.
Are you guys ready to talk about trading places?
We are.
Okay. How do y'all feel about this topic?
I think it's going to be interesting. I think everyone's tries to understand each other because we're opposite sexes, and we need to know
Battle of the sexes.
Battle of the sexes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know so much about battle, but
Okay.
we are opposite. We are opposite.
Okay,
we do
we're
have
opposite.
different opinions about things. Strong opinions.
That we do.
Let
me sip on that.
With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this first question. Do you think there is a difference in the effects of gender roles in males and females?
I think so, a little bit. I don't agree with it at times because even, like for instance, Marcus and I, how we know each other, he's a basketball coach. I was a former basketball coach. So we had the same occupation, but different sides, right? And I have to admit, some things was done differently, as a woman's basketball head coach, and as a men's basketball coach, right? I mean, would you agree with that?
I mean, is there the difference in the roles? Is that the...
You two have had the same positions.
Yes.
But you did different things.
Right.
You were treated differently. For example, Jarita is no longer the coach, a head coach. So when she ended up switching careers, the post reaction to it was definitely gender bias. For example, there was an article that came out after you left being a head coach, and instead of them focusing on your future career, they focused on your attire.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
That is where the difference is. It's because as a female, I have a lot of roles to play. You know, as a woman, I feel like, yes, I'm supposed to look nice, presentable, because I'm supposed to be a role model to young ladies.
Right.
Where people cross the line, and you're referencing that article, they cross the line because they think that's all I was good for in regards to that. So that's very hurtful. So that thing, that's where it's different.
So what do you have to say about that, Marcus?
I think, me personally, I don't think there's a huge difference as far as basketball is basketball. You know, when you have someone do an occupation, it doesn't matter what type of sex they are. Now, I think society does have their thought process about what and how a woman or what and how a man is supposed to do that occupation. And I think that's the issue that we have to try to get over and get by, is the society. And I don't know, that's gonna take a while to get over that. I mean, there are some good women that can coach basketball. There are some good men that coach basketball on both sides. But at the same time, it's not a lot of women on the men's side.
So my question is then, why was it such an issue on her attire and not more on how she coached?
And I'll say this because I can say this. It's because when I did leave, my young ladies were the ones that stood up for me, right? They wrote letters and all that, you know, because, and even the parents, because they understood why I was there. They got the meaning of it.
Hold on. I'm gonna stop, because at the same time,
here's that hand.
No. At the same time, she was a great dresser, and now at the same time, on the men's side, they do have the best dressed men. So therefore, if you look at Villanova's coach, Jay Wright, he is considered one of the best dressed men out there. But at the same time, he does have a good winning record, or he is able to win. But I don't think we have to solely just look at that point of her dress. I mean, because she can dress, but at the same time, she can coach too. And I think that's
that was the focus, though. It wasn't the focus. Wasn't on the stats.
It was the focus on
attire.
by one person.
But that one person put something out that influenced other people. Right?
That's true. That is true. I will say that. But I would think that at times that people in the profession recognize her talent outside of her dress.
Okay. Let's just move on. Let's move on. All right. So gender roles in the workplace are rapidly changing. We know that. At one point in history, you typically only saw a female doing jobs as far as like teaching or nurses, things that they consider as female careers. But now, again, it's changing. So how do you feel about that gender role changing in careers?
I love it. I'm big on breaking down walls and barriers and limits. And that should be anybody's like motivation.
Right.
And I really think that I applaud women who are confident in themselves. They understand fully the type of environment that they're going to be in, and understand that of the repercussions that come with that too.
I'm a little on the fence, because I do think there are some things that women are better at in certain jobs.
What are we better at?
I mean, women are more natural nurturers. So I would think that it's not the fact of they can't do the job or men can't do the job. I just think that they bring a different aspect to that job with what the qualities they can bring. And then I think also too, it goes back to society. I think society tells or says this woman or this man is better suited for this job. But I don't think it's a huge difference. But I do think women bring a different quality to certain jobs, and men vice versa.
I also say that I think it depends on the personality of that person, regardless if it is a male or a female. Now, I was researching, and they were saying the top 15 jobs that men are good at, right? And
what were some of those jobs?
Some of those
jobs.
What was that? So some of those jobs were CEOs was number one.
Oh,
of course, right?
Okay.
Number 2 was, I think, a pharmacist. Like the lawyers were like number 3.
Oh, wow.
And then it goes down to like computer engineers, programmers, and it goes down from there. But what was so amazing is when I did the opposite of researching top jobs for women.
And what were those?
The same exact ones.
Really?
Yes. The same exact ones.
It's changing.
Wow.
And that lets you know that it's changing.
I didn't know. Now, when you say the top, is that what is the criteria for that? Did you ever
Is it
able
the
to see
didn't
that?
earnings?
Yeah.
I want to say it's the earnings. I didn't go into it, like go into detail in searching the requirements, but I just thought it was so fascinating that they both align.
But so what my concern is, so you said that they both align, right?
Yes.
I guarantee that the salary that the men are being paid is not the same as the women.
Absolutely.
But we're doing the exact same job.
Yes. Very true.
What do you guys say about that, Marcus?
I don't know if I want to touch on that one.
But it's a huge
Well,
pay disparity right now.
It is.
It is. Now, when it comes to the corporate world, I'm not, keen to a lot of that. I can just speak on a lot of with athletics, to where, it is noted and it's a fact that on the men's side, the men make more and they attract more.
Any position.
Well,
Yes,
that's why I say I'm not keen a whole lot to the corporate side of it, and I don't know why that is. Like if you look at
Because we're women. Men think
Well,
that
you
we can
can't-
just sit at home.
well,
and
no,
do
I'm not saying
nothing.
because you're women. I
And
mean,
now,
that's
nope.
that's
But now we're working. They don't want to pay us.
I don't think that's the case. I can't.
What's the case?
I don't think you probably could pinpoint exactly why.
Right.
I just think that it goes back generations.
Oh yeah.
Centuries ago.
Right.
And I'll make this point. So like yesterday was the anniversary of the 19th Amendment of voting, right? For women, right? That's 100 years ago. So women had to fight to vote. Now, women of color, as Rowe and I, they had to fight continued. Yes, their fight continued on. But it did open up some room for our side to be able to continue that fight to get.
And we are still fighting.
Yeah.
Not just for voting, but now we're trying to fight for pay us what we're worth.
Yeah, high pay wages, job opportunities. Just being looked at as
I look at it like this.
equal with that position.
Well, I don't. I look at it like this at times, where sometimes they'll say, "Well, would a woman being a CEO or a male, with that woman being a CEO, are they bringing in as much money?" As
Yes.
I'm just saying what society. I'm not saying it's me because
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'm just saying that could be some of the thought process into why they can't or they're not getting compensated.
It's not the ability.
But what
and it's definitely not the education anymore.
Because
It's not-
again, if we look at statistics, go to catalyst.org, it is showing that black women, any women pretty much, but more black women, we are getting more education than our male counterparts, but are still getting paid a lower percentage of what they are. Doing the same job and probably even better.
Well, I just think right now it's just a perception of the way it is. I mean, the way reality is looking at it.
Reality is we work hard.
Yeah, and then say women don't. Women do work hard. I mean, and men work hard too, but at the same time,
But
I
y'all are
don't.
getting paid more than we are. And
I'm
we're
not-
trading places.
Yeah.
We are now becoming leaders. We're becoming executives. But I guarantee the woman executive is still getting paid less than what the male executive is getting paid. Let's go to the next one.
Let's go to that because
You
Pat?
no, I mean, all I can say. That's why I said as
But
far
this
as
is statistics.
I'm just saying as far as I'm looking at in my field that I'm in athletics, is that they look at how much are the women bringing in compared to what the men are bringing in. When I say athletics overall, I'm not just talking about college, I'm talking about
because with sports
professionals.
it is a little slightly different because
Slightly
men's sports are they're the leaders
Right.
of sports. They're
Right.
the flagship sports, right?
Right,
And everything
right.
else follows behind. Unfortunately, women's basketball or women's sports in general
Exactly,
follow
and
behind.
I think I'll look at it like this: where when you look at society with organizations, women probably in the last 25 years have been progressive, being able to be in those positions. So therefore, I think it's going to take a little bit more time.
Another 20 years?
I'm not saying
Who's
another 20
waiting for
years.
that?
Well,
Right.
well, at the same time, you can not wait for it, but reality is reality.
And I think that's why where we are today with women in the positions that they hold is because they're not anymore. And that's why it's so exciting. It's because women are no longer waiting. No. We're kicking down doors.
They're not waiting, but at the same time, I look at it like this.
All the way, right?
And I think at the times, I don't know if society is ready for all that either, because I look at it, don't look at me like that.
Give us an example.
I give an example.
Yeah, I want to
give an example. 4 years ago, when you had Hillary Clinton running for president, society's not ready for a woman's president right now. They weren't.
Well,
at
we
that
have a
time.
woman vice president.
We have a woman vice president now,
but that's okay because she's the
vice president. Because a man is still leading.
No, because at the same time, you got to look at it is if he's not able to be the president,
absolutely,
can she lead and be the president? Now,
Yes.
So
I think she can.
Question
I think she can.
be, right?
What's that?
Is what makes her capable of not leading or thinking that she's not capable?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's my next question.
We'll see it. We'll see in about 75 or 80 days.
Hey, we keep it quiet.
Just get out there and vote.
Yeah, right. Get out there and vote. Yeah.
Exactly. It's very true.
All right, let's move on. Again, they're going to debate about this.
We can stay here all day with this. All day.
Marcus, what are your thoughts about a woman staying home, taking care of the house as a housewife?
I think it's okay if that's what.
Of course, he will say that.
No, if that's what her and her spouse have talked about before they got married. Now, personally, I would like for my spouse to work.
Okay.
Because I would like for, even though staying at home is a job, raising the kids, but at the same time, I would want, that can't be, I don't think that'd be your only thing to do.
Right.
Because I think at times you get monotoned on things and you're not really fulfilling your worth, fulfilling who you really are. So I think you need to get out and do what you really want to do out there.
All right, so Dorita, what are your thoughts about a man staying at home, being a house husband?
I love it.
I knew she would love it. She would love that.
No, but seriously though, I'm all about synergy and harmony, right? And it's whatever's going to keep that marriage together, number one, and make it successful. So if my man wants to stay home and that's going to help us be successful with our children and he's really great at it, he's a great cook, those type of things, then by all means, I'm fine with that. As long as he's okay with me being the one that goes out, get that money,
No, let me follow up with that.
Okay.
You're saying, him staying home. So you're okay with just bringing in majority of the money and you wouldn't look at him like, let's say he wants to go buy something.
He better check with me first.
Oh! That's what I was getting at. Like,
but you know what? I really think no, because I think that is something that we've already talked about. We've already communicated that.
Communication got to be the key.
Communication has got to be the key
Yeah.
with like successful marriages. And it cannot be, and I think we need to think out of the box with this. It can no longer be women staying at home all the time, or, if they don't, they feel bad for not doing it. And I shouldn't even feel the same way if my man wants to do that, if he's really great at doing that. Because if I am the one that's making 6 figures or plus or whatever, bringing in the money to cover the household bills and expenses, and he's great at, cooking and
but
things.
he better have that food ready.
See how your tone switched like that?
I want my dinner on the table.
I'm not saying mine. I'm saying your thought.
No, that is not my
that
thought.
room clean.
No, that is not my thought. Because at the end of the day, just think about that though. Think about if you walked into the house and your woman didn't have that plate together, and you're like, "Woman, where's my food?"
Pretty much.
Not necessarily where the plate is.
Oh, now it changes?
No, but I know it's coming. Or what are we doing?
You're looking forward to
it. What if you don't have the plate ready or meal ready? You don't have to have a meal ready. Cool. Okay, what are we doing? And then do I have to decide, are we going to eat too?
But see, that's the thing that we have to understand. Now, I first started harmony, right?
Right.
Cohesion, synergize, right? So that means that sometimes maybe your wife or my husband that stays home had a long day with those kids nonstop and has not got a chance to cook food. When I walk in the door, I gotta be on point and reading what's going on in the household and say, you know what, babe? Let's go out. I'm gonna order something for us, or I will come and cook. That's how it has to come.
That's cool. So at the same
be
time,
flexible with.
What are you talking about? When you saying staying home, is it just for small kids or no kids, or the kids are
just
older?
in general?
Just in
I think that changes though.
It does.
Because if the
change.
kids are older, or if there's no kids there, okay.
But there's still household, duties and responsibilities to do.
My point taken.
Okay.
Is that
But
as far as
are you saying
this room,
okay?
like
Why is it not clean?
Yeah, why we don't have?
We got to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying it's stages too. I think when you talk about a spouse staying home is okay. Are you gonna have kids involved? Are they little kids? Are they school age kids, or are they older kids where they can take care of themselves? Okay, now what happens when they take care of themselves? And I think that's what you're talking about when the communication come in. We're gonna have to talk about that because at the same time, if they're teenagers and one of them have a job of, let's say you got two and two got a job.
Exactly.
Okay, what are you doing? I mean,
but sounds like that's not gonna be okay for you. Is that?
No. I'm just saying no. What I'm saying is the communication is gonna have. We're gonna have to constantly communicate.
Yeah, because it always changes.
And it's funny you say that because some years back, I actually dated this guy that he was really like up in his career, and I was just getting started with my businesses, and his whole mindset was, I believe a woman should stay at home and don't work. And so I remember one evening I was on my phone responding to an email, and he got so upset. He was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's late at night and you're responding to an email. First of all, this is my business. Like, I'm 24/7. It's a long story short. It's been years later. He's married somebody else, and I'm still sitting here. But anyway,
that wasn't for you. But that sounds like narcissistic behavior, though.
Very much.
Okay. But I think,
it goes back to that traditional behavior.
That he got from his daddy, and who got from his grandpa. And they got from his grandpa.
What about grandma? Why can't it be grandmother too? Grandmother. Yes. You have to look at that
Okay,
too.
we're gonna bring grandma in.
Yeah, you bring grandma in because grandma is right there. Yeah, grandma right there. Yeah, no, but at the same time, I would say this: if that does happen, as far as staying at home, not staying at home, I think it's real important for the spouse, both of them, to not lose their self.
And that's very important. And I know what you mean about that because I think more so it happens a lot with women. Where they feel very obligated to, because we're so motherly, right?
Yes.
We're great nurturers, but at the end of the day, we feel like, I shouldn't say that's the only job, but some people think, some women think that's
my job.
That's my job.
That's who I am.
But at the end of the day, when they do leave the household, then they become lost.
Right. Or when they get up in age, you're like,
right. Well, who am I?
Who am I? Like, what do I? Yeah.
What do I do? Because you buried
who
you are in your children and your husband.
Right.
And it shouldn't be that way. Right. It really should be. I agree. It really should be a balance where you understand fully who you are. Right. You're sound-minded regarding like these responsibilities. This responsibilities I'm gonna take on, and then when they graduate or leave the household, this is what I want to do next.
And that's why I think to me it's important that both spouses work, because I think a lot of times, whether it's man or woman, they will be that person. They'll lose themselves and they don't know who they really are.
And that happens a lot. Yeah. It really does. Happens more than what it should.
At least get a hobby.
That's right.
Yeah, at least get a hobby.
Yeah.
That's a start, right?
That's a start. Yeah, start as a hobby. Like,
now you're taking us back to the Mormon culture. Let me put my professor hat back on real quick.
I mean, let's get out of the house an hour or two.
And do something, right?
Nobody's going back to that Mormon culture.
But I would say this because I have a 6-year-old daughter. You guys know Kai, and I was blessed to be able to stay with her for a year home, right? But it was a time where I was just like, okay, I'm ready to go back home. I mean, ready to go back to work. Yeah. It wasn't like something like, and I'm very motherly and nurturing. That doesn't go away. But I had other goals and things in mind. that
Well,
I
I'll tell you
wanted
one
to.
thing on the flip side of that. In my case, when my kids are older, I have one in college and one's a sophomore in high school, and I have a middle school, 8th grade. I spend so much energy in my profession early with them. Is that now I think we're closer than we were when we were. Even though we were cool, we were close. That's my guys and my boys. But like now we really have conversations. Like my oldest one called me today and we just call out, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh no, we just want to talk to them. So
that's cool.
I think at times that it's a balance.
Yeah, it is.
But
It's
main
really
thing is don't
important.
lose yourself. If you're going to stay home,
Right, don't lose yourself.
Don't lose yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You guys are hilarious. Like this entire conversation, I love it because people don't talk about it. They don't talk about or feel comfortable about discussing the differences and what goes on in the household because it's not the best topic to talk about. But we talk about it here at Boardroom Talk.
Right.
Next question though.
What you got for us, girl? What you got?
What's your opinion on a prenup?
Oh, I take a deep breath.
Let me tell you something. I'm here for it. And
Tell me why.
before you nail me to the cross.
No.
Let me tell you, I am an advocate for prenups because me as a mid-aged woman who have built my career, my brand, my identity for years, and it's not even all about the money aspect. I mean, it's some part of it, but I built it by myself. And so for a spouse to come in and kind of like, oh, I was part of this. Actually, you weren't. I need to protect what I built over these years. So I believe in prenups. Like I would have that conversation with, the person I'm dating, and this is what I expect if we want to move forward in a relationship or in a marriage. I'm here for a prenup. I have property, assets, and I'm sorry, but you ain't about to take what I've earned and I built.
You got this empire.
Yeah, I see, but at the same time,
I'm just saying.
are we in it for the long haul or we're not?
Yeah.
And it shouldn't. So, funny story.
Okay.
Me and my mother argue about prenups. She does not believe in them. She doesn't think that I should have this mindset to have a prenup. But again, let's look back. Back when our parents were getting married and things like that, they pretty much built everything together. So of course she wouldn't understand that aspect. But it's not looking for failure in a relationship. It's looking for protection. You have insurance, car insurance, right? You're not going out there looking to get into a car accident, right? But if something happens, you have protection. You have homeowners insurance.
No,
That's
I'm
true,
with you. I agree with prenups.
You
I
agree
do,
with it.
but I do understand the other side of it, and especially if when are you going to do a prenup? Are you going to do it when you have built what you had, or is you going to do it from the beginning? No, I'm just saying from the beginning, like
Without having something built.
right, exactly. Because even still, even if you were to get married at a middle age, let's say 40 something, you have a house.
Right.
Okay, you have built some type of legacy, but at the same time, is a house worth trying to keep? You don't have for only 10 years. That's what I say. Is it really that big of an issue in time?
It is.
Okay.
Well, I feel that I don't believe in prenups. I don't. Yes, I know. What?
Okay.
Y'all sound shocked that I said
I
that.
am. I really am.
Why?
Let me sit up on this.
I know you said that one. You want to sip too? Okay, go to sip.
I want to hear this.
No, it's because when I think of prenups, now don't get me wrong, I do completely understand why.
Right.
Because when you say protection, that's exactly what it's about, right? But when I also hear the word prenup, I also think of trust issues. I think when I think of prenups, I think of I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to be completely in it.
And see, I don't think of it as that way. I think of it again as an insurance plan because again, we don't expect something to happen, but if something happens, then this is what the guidelines are. This is what we have in place.
But let me ask you this though. With that, because a lot of times when you talk about prenups, a lot of times it's really the people that have built businesses or have a lot of property. It's not your average below Joe. So that's what I said. So,
but
is
if we're really
it,
gonna go there,
Yeah, let's go
now,
there.
this is my like perspective on
Okay.
it. Maybe wrong, but those type of people are kind of like they're looking for trophy wives and trophy husbands.
Who we
They
talking about,
in
the
it.
people
That you're talking about those that actually probably might need a prenup.
Oh,
that
so
has
she's
a lot
looking for
of
a trophy
empire.
husband?
No, I'm just saying. So are you saying that she's not involved? Like she doesn't need a prenup?
I didn't say she didn't need one. I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. When a lot of people that talk about prenups have a lot of things or
so
some things
So Rowe doesn't have a lot?
I didn't say yes, she does. You the one
Okay,
talking about she got a trophy husband. She gonna
No,
have a
I'm
trophy
just
husband.
saying. I'm just asking that.
Oh,
because
she looking for what?
I felt like when you said that.
Okay.
I thought you. I heard that you weren't putting Rowe in that.
No, I was, but now,
Okay.
now are you putting her in the trophy husband? Looking for a trophy husband?
No, I don't think so. I'm just moving you around. Okay, we're just gonna move you.
No, but I do get what you're saying.
But you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do understand.
And so,
that, yeah.
like, I think, like, if you're seriously considering a prenup, I think you seriously need to understand or know what type of partner you're wanting,
Exactly.
right? Because to me, I still go back on it's almost like a trust issue to me. And the reason why we do that is because we just don't quite know if this is going to last or not. And we don't.
But also, we didn't know 5 years ago that now in 2020 we're going to be in a global pandemic.
That's very true. That's very true.
What's the pandemic got to do with a prenup?
But I'm just
saying it.
Oh,
look, we together on this. But that's almost like justifying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, we didn't know about a pandemic either.
So we didn't know 5 years ago.
okay, I got you. Okay,
You know,
I get it.
come on.
Okay.
But that's, I feel like that response is more so for those that really want to validate the prenup.
What response?
Regarding like because of we didn't know about the pandemic.
Oh, so you
then
said she's trying to validate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're trying to validate right now.
It's not a validation. It's more just letting you all understand.
But I get it.
But
like,
I get it.
because you have done a lot.
Right, and I do understand
really
this. I mean,
applaud you for
and there's
that.
different types of prenups. I mean, there's prenups where you can whatever I have before
You
we
can
got
make
together,
adjustments or
then
before.
whatever we had,
So let me
whatever
tell you
we
something.
build after,
So
then that's
remember
what we
that
can.
song? Is it Drake? I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
You don't know?
so the lyric
I didn't
goes.
say Jesus. She said Drake.
Oh, I know. That's her man, right? You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
So the lyric said, "You weren't with me shooting in the gym."
Uh-huh.
I mean, come on, like that's real.
Right,
Like, okay, this is about to be another question. I saw this post on social media that, and I'm summarizing this. It was a medical doctor, and she's now married. And the patient asked her, "Why is your name hyphenated?" And she said, "My husband did not get this degree." Is that wrong? Because me personally, I mean, I'm a doctor. I'm not an MDD, but I'm a doctor. And I believe in hyphenation of my last name because, again, I got my doctorate as Rowe, not as my future spouse.
Right.
So, would you be okay with a woman hyphenating her last name?
I understand that because at the same time, when I talk about my oldest son, people ask me, "Why didn't you name him after you?" I'm like, "No, that's my name. I don't want. He's not going to take my name. I mean, he can have his own name and have his own identity. So I definitely understand the hyphenation.
Okay. So, but let's take this another level.
Okay.
Would you take your spouse's last name?
No, I'm not doing that. No,
that goes back to tradition.
No.
You're not gonna do
Now we.
We're only going but so far,
I
right?
mean, there's somewhere you're gonna have to draw the line. Right? Now, I will say this though. I could possibly. No, I'm not doing.
You're not gonna do it?
I thought about
Possibly?
hyphenating, but I can't.
But you're really okay with your spouse hyphenating?
You're gonna be okay with
I'm
that?
okay with that.
Okay.
If that's
What
what
about
you
you?
want
Would
to
you
do.
hyphenate your last name?
Well, let me stop you there because at the same time, the spouse could take her last name as her middle name.
But that's normally how it happens. Right?
Not all the
No,
time.
not me.
Well, we already know you hyphenate.
Sheria Deshawn Rowe. Hyphenated.
Hyphenated.
Instead of
Because
Sheria
that's
Rowe.
my
such and such.
identity.
Well, that's normally how it's done.
Sometimes.
The last
I'll give it all my name.
Goes to the middle name.
Right,
Sometimes.
exactly. And I think you may hear that more now, just because of where women are with their positions, and it just goes back to your first question.
Or the women keeping their last name. Keeping their their maiden last name.
I've seen that.
You've seen that too? I haven't seen that. That's new to me.
Yeah, keeping their last name and just because I built my empire or what.
And that's what
on this name, so I don't even want to change it.
believe that's just about
that's just
independence.
Well, that's just like this. It's just like if women when you get a divorce, a lot of women don't want to change
to go back.
Because they have built so much with this name.
You want,
you know,
if you were to marry, well, if you were to marry,
you can put that in the prenup. You go back to your name.
You go back to your name.
Let me go on back. Drop. But see, and that's how I want to
drop like the mic.
Yeah, right. Now I will say this. Now I would say like when you go back to the prenup, I think Michael Jordan is the example of how to do a prenup. To the fact of like what he put in his words, whatever I did before we got married, whatever endorsements I have,
right,
you can't touch.
And I agree with that.
But anything afterwards,
it's together.
You could touch.
I can agree with that, and that's fair.
Right.
But I'm just saying those that are going to, have a prenup and ride it all the way out,
right,
and not give your spouse any type of.
So funny question.
Well, you better start building something in your own.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you're talking about
not giving. We trying.
No, I'm just saying
you talking about what are you saying?
What I'm saying is, when they come together, they're gonna build, because why would you marry me if I wasn't gonna help you build?
I don't know. Some folks get married.
That's a problem.
Because
now it's a problem. So now you just said about somebody staying home.
No, that's totally different.
What is he building?
See, that's different because you think because he's home or she's home that they're not doing nothing.
What is he building? What is he building for you?
He is being
wait. Oh, real?
You real?
No, I didn't. I said what is he building for you?
Keyword was he.
Yeah, because you said that.
But you also said that when someone is home, that they're not contributing.
I didn't say that.
But you said, what is he building?
Yeah, that's what I asked. What is he building? No, I'm saying when you're working, when you're home,
when I'm home working.
No, when you're out working.
Yes, and he's home and he's tending to the children.
Right.
Then it's about stability. He's going to deal with the work that a woman is supposed to.
No. I'm not talking about a woman. I'm talking about your life. I'm not talking about a woman. What if you're out working?
Let me say something right now. I'm gonna turn to this camera right now, and this is how Marcus always does when we together.
And he had a hand.
Really?
And he got the hand up, so he all in right now. He all in. Okay, back to you, Marcus. What did you say? You fix your ponytail.
I'm saying you said you're working. Right.
But I'm telling you what it's about for me.
Okay, go ahead. My fault.
So if he does cook dinner, because at home, at the end of the day,
so that's considered building.
Yeah, that's awesome for me. For me to know that he's home and he's taking care of the children. If he wants to cook, that's awesome, because at the same time, I'm coming home from a long day too.
Right, but
I feel like I may be different in that aspect. So if my spouse is at home cooking and cleaning and being a house husband, like that.
You like that in the word, don't you?
I want to come home like that.
That H&H.
Apron with
I might need to come home with all leather on underneath my outfit.
We like the H&H, okay?
The H&H? What's the H&H? Household. Okay. That's not me. I don't know.
Anyway. So I'm opposite of that. So if my house husband, fix my ponytail for this. If my house husband is home with the children, well, first of all, let's not do that plural.
Okay.
Child.
Okay, child.
Right,
okay, we're gonna stay there.
And that's a compromise.
All right.
But if he's home doing all that,
yeah,
I was to expect my spouse to be building something. You're not just be sitting at home while I'm out here building businesses, brands, and working 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day. And you're sitting at home. I mean, take it. Yes, I get it that you're doing stuff around the house, but what are you doing? Like, are you thinking about something that you can do to build while you're home? What about an online business?
So you don't want a house.
Well, see that? Yeah, that's what you don't want.
Yeah, that's what she.
And then,
it sounds like she don't want a house.
No, that's what
I really don't.
Okay,
This is a question. Okay, this is
I want a spouse that we can build together. Like,
yeah,
I'm out in the field, you're out in the field. Which why I said child.
Because you got to be out in the field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. I understand. I got you.
And because I just believe in building empires.
Yeah.
What legacy are we leaving for our families? Like that's where I stand.
And that's great. That is great. But when we're just solely talking about someone staying home, that's a lot. They contribute a lot.
But the thing is, remember, let's go back to the Mormon culture.
Okay.
And back to
Hold on. Why are you going back to the Mormon code? You just talked about
Right,
we're in the 21st
because I'm about
century
to
and
do
all
my
these
hair
women, independent women. Now you want to go back to?
We going back to Mormon.
That's my hair.
Okay,
So
go
let's
ahead.
going back to Mormon culture. Men expected women to do that. They expected women to be in the house. They expected them to take care of the children, and yes, keep making.
But I think it's 2020 now.
And I'm
so
getting
I
there.
don't,
I'm
okay,
moving
my
forward.
fault.
I'm
I moved
going
too
through my
fast.
historical
My fault. I moved
calendar.
too fast. All right, go ahead.
From Mormon culture to now, again,
Okay.
roles are changing.
Right.
But if we again look back at that historical overview, this is what men expected women to do: to be at home, to teach. That was one of the careers that they expected women to do. And then again, now it's shifting that men are now being home and women are out there in the field. It's different. And so now you guys are understanding what women have gone through pre-2020.
But those that agree to that, though, those that agree to stay home, I think those are the men that truly understand the responsibilities that women were told to do. Right? And so they get enjoyment out of it. They understand the importance of it, and they are okay in supporting their wife with it.
So you don't think it's just they don't want to go work?
No, that's a low down, lazy. You know what?
I just asked the question. Like,
we ain't talking about them. We talking about a good-hearted man that's at home tending to the child, and then you know, that understands that his wife is working very hard, and is going to back her up, support. Now because support is something like that you can't even put a price tag on, right? At all.
Right.
And it's amazing how you don't really understand how supported you really need until you actually have it. How much you were missing it. How you were missing it. Right? Until you actually have it. Yeah. So when they're able to just support, that's priceless.
It is.
That's priceless.
And then even after a long day of work, as a woman, we coming home and you might get all the goods.
Oh! A-L-L.
All caps.
Capital letters.
Yeah, y'all say that now. But y'all done been in the boardroom.
Oh,
and y'all done
but that's
it out.
But you know what? That's when we get
what?
energized.
I don't want to talk to you. Like I want a bath and go to bed. I don't want to deal with nothing. No, don't do that.
But you know what those women are called?
What?
Those are called ungrateful women.
Oh.
That's the difference.
Oh, okay.
A strong woman that knows and understands what her man does for her. It's always appreciative.
I will say this: there will always be time where a woman and a man, if the woman is staying home or a man staying home, when that spouse comes home, there will be a time where it's like, you know what? I don't want to do nothing. I don't want nothing. I got to just relax and let me just be.
And that's fair because you are entitled to.
Is that fair?
Yes, it is, because you're as a man or a woman, whether you come home and feel that way or if I'm at home and feel that way. You're entitled to that, and that spouse should understand that this is just not the day.
Even if even if that spouse been home with that child, been talking to a 5-year-old, and now they want some adult stimulation.
They got to understand that.
Oh, so you're not going to understand the man been there this whole time with a 5-year-old.
You
now I want some.
Why are they 5-year-olds?
I don't know because
they give people hell.
So I mean, they want some adult stimulation. They want to talk to their woman when they come home. But now the woman is like, I don't really want to talk because I done talk with these adults that acting like kids.
That goes beyond what we're talking about.
Is it?
Yes. That goes beyond that.
Because one thing I could say, and this is kind of like a little wrap up.
Okay.
What I would say, even though women, we are a beast sometimes in the boardroom. I know I am.
Toot.
We know how to come home and get that soft side to our spouse. We know how to switch that role back again and be there.
At times, I think.
At times. I mean, I know that we
I don't think for the majority. I think at times.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Is at times.
And I think it's both ways.
Well, is at times enough for you? Or do you need it more?
We're not talking about me right
now.
Oh,
we're not talking about you. Okay,
I'm not on the couch laying down. Let's not talk about me right now.
But my whole thing is, as women, we do understand that role. We know that the roles have changed when it comes to the workplace, but we also know the roles it is in the household. And I think that's just something that's like for nurturers.
Yeah, that goes back to who we are, the makeup of us.
I do think though at times, sometimes that women who have that ambitious attitude to go out and work a lot, I do think at times they do lose a little bit of that nurturing.
And I'm gonna tell you this.
Because I think men do too. I mean,
because of the battle, because of the war. It's because of the war.
Exactly.
And the man has to understand what his wife has to go out to battle. That's a part of that too.
Same way women has to understand.
Absolutely. Now it goes both ways.
Right,
I agree
right.
completely.
Yes.
But each spouse has to understand fully what their spouse is going out for war about, to battle about.
It's a bigger picture.
Yes, it's about a bigger picture.
Yes. You mentioned something earlier about, you had to do something late night, return an email, and I do know at times, and I can speak a little bit personally, where sometimes you have to turn off your work, which is hard at times, especially in my profession. It's hard at times to turn the work off.
Now let me ask you this: do you think that is it harder for a woman to turn that off than a man regarding those duties?
I think women can do it better.
Yeah,
you think so?
Even I've been in situations. This is post that other situation where I'm relaxing with someone, and then that's the email sound. I don't think it sounds. And I'm looking, and they'll be like, "Ria, you've had a long day. Just it can wait." And I'm like, "You're right. Cut it off." It's how you respond to it. It shouldn't be like, "You need to cut your phone off," or "You don't need to respond." It's, "I understand. Wait, it can wait till tomorrow."
Right.
So.
Yeah, I do think it depends on the profession too, because I think at times I say in my profession, athletics, is that we have to be able to turn it off at certain times, because we spend so much time, especially those 6 months or 8 months that we're working.
Going hard.
That we have to, when we're home at that certain time, we have to be home.
And you saying that, I think a lot of people don't realize how valuable the household can be for them regarding it being a place of fill up.
Right. But I think with that flips, a lot of cut you off, but I think it's important in any profession.
Yes.
To include the
Inclusion.
family.
There's your word.
Right.
You're like Sesame Street.
To include the family in your profession. I think at some point in time you have to do that. Because I do that with my staff. It's like, if you need to bring your kids to the practice or whatever, bring them. Because you're away from them so much.
Exactly.
Bring them around.
Yeah, that's great.
So they can be around.
That's a good point.
All right, so we have got some really great insight today on everything with trading places, and clearly this can go on all day. We got some great insights. We see what it on the men's side, on the woman's side. So I am thankful. Thank you guys for coming out today and being on here. Yeah, it was exciting.
Well, thank you for inviting us. We appreciate it. Yes.
Because we can do this.
We do this all day, any day, every day, with a glass of rosé.
Yeah,
the black girl magic.
The black girl magic.
Next time we gotta get a black man magic.
Okay, we're gonna let you bring that.
First of all, can we have something that's just ours?
Can we keep it here?
Yes.
I mean, it is your show. Can I have a prop?
Yeah, when you get your show.
So right now this is Dr. Sheria Rowe show, and I like black girl magic.
All right now. That's it.
I will see you guys on the next episode of Boardroom Talk.